that is, everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you.
More than I can say, do it to me, I can say, more than I can say, do it to me, I can say, more than I can say, do it to me, I can say, more than I can say, do it to me, I can say, more than I can say.
It didn't work. Dominoes suck. Dear Carrie, do you know how it feels when you spend 2 hours of your life making dominoes, then they don't work, they just fall? Dear Carrie, hi. Yeah, that whole dominoes thing. I thought, wow, this is gonna be the best. It's gonna go viral. I didn't actually think that. Okay, I'm gonna make this short and sweet because I've got stuff to be doing, like tidying up dominoes. I've got 2 things to talk to you about this week. Okay, 3 things. I got a haircut. That was the one I added just then. First haircut of the year. Thanks, Louisa. I got my first haircut of the year. I got my first haircut round my ear. Anyway, 2 things to talk about this week. Firstly, if you missed it on Thursday, I announced that my brand new picture book is called There's a Monster in Your Book, and it comes out in June 29th. It looks like this. It is available to pre-order right now. I am extremely proud of this picture book for a number of reasons. Obviously, you need to be proud of anything that you're putting out there for people to, you know, hopefully enjoy. But this was the first ever book that I wrote, like a proper book, you know, like I had an idea for. I made like a rough demo version of it, and this was like 6 years ago on the Keep Calm and Play Loud at McFly tour. And I had this idea for a book, and the whole concept of the book is that there is a monster inside your book, and you have to get him out, because no one wants a monster living in your book. And so you go on this little journey, and you have to physically interact with the book to try and get the monster out. And I basically thought, you know, we live in an age where we live in the future, guys. Kids, you know, have touchscreens, and you know, I had dominoes. Kids have iPads now and iPhones. So I wanted to find a way of making a book feel interactive, and there's something quite fun about. I thought there was something quite fun about that, because you don't expect you to be able to physically have an effect on a book and a story and a character. So anyway, that was the whole concept, and while I was on tour I did like a rough version that I drew, and I tested it out on my bandmates, and which is like, you know, they're a good test subject for books aimed at 2 to 5 year olds. Anyway, and they really laughed, because this book is one that you have to really read to understand how it's, you know, how it works. You have to see it to experience it. After that, me and Doug went and wrote the Dino Poop series, and you know, that, you know, when we did like 4 years worth of that, and then the Christmasaurus, and that took a long time. And so this book, even though I wrote it first and like 6 years ago, it's just, the monster has just kind of patiently been sitting there in his book waiting to be released, unleashed. So I'm really proud of the fact that this was the first book that I wrote, and I'm finally getting to release it. And it feels like the best time for it as well, because it's amazing fun to read it with kids, to see their kind of reaction. And when I wrote it, I didn't have kids, and now I have 2. And I tested it out on my kids, and they enjoyed it. That's the thing about kids, they tell you if they don't enjoy it. So, you know, there's a good and a bad side to that. It's illustrated by Greg Abbott, who's designed an amazing monster. You should see my original sketches. They are so bad in comparison to Greg's, so he's done an amazing job. It's a really cool, like a lot of people asked me, I love drawing, I love art, and one day maybe I'd like to illustrate a book that I write, but I really enjoy working with amazingly talented illustrators. Shane, who illustrated the Christmasaurus, Gary, who illustrated the Dino Poop series, and now Greg, who's doing the monster book. It's a really cool process when you have an idea for a character and you get to go through the design process and explain how you want him to look. And then, you know, I like giving people the text and what I've written, and maybe a description or some references perhaps, but then seeing how they interpret my the way I've described the character without me having too much input. First of all, it's really cool. It's getting those first designs back. It's really good fun. So I hope you like the monster. His name is Monster. He looks like this. You don't want him in your book though. Seriously, he eats the pages. Be careful what you wish for though, is all I'm going to say. He's not scary at all, so any parents out there of young kids, he's cheeky and fun, and your kids won't be scared of him. He's a cool monster, so don't worry. The other thing is other book news. It's G's publication week for Happy Mum, Happy Baby. Now I know, I know I'm talking a lot about books, but this book is really special because it's about G's journey and experience as a mother and into motherhood. And I've been reading it. I'm like 2 chapters away from finishing, and it is amazing. It's amazing for me to read it. I cried my eyes out, and I know it's I didn't have any input into this book, obviously apart from helping her make the kids that it's about. I had some input in that, but I didn't want it to have any effect on G's book. It was her book, her story for her to tell, and it's been amazing for me to read parenthood from her side of things, relive what it was like in our lives at that time up until now, and now having 2 kids is amazing. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, it's G's publication week, and so G, congratulations, happy publication week on Thursday or whenever it's out. Buddy, our son, I knew I shouldn't have forgot this one. I'm tired. Buddy, our son, turned 1 this week, last Thursday. Happy birthday. No, Thursday? Wednesday. Thursday. Happy birthday, Buddy. Our youngest son. We had a really lovely day. We had a little party with him last weekend with all the family, and then on Thursday, Buzz, our eldest, he went to nursery, so we had a day with just me and G and Buddy. We just went for brunch and a walk in the park and saw some ducks, and nothing crazy. It was just nice being, we're obviously a family of 4, but it is nice when you get to spend a little bit of time with each of them on their own, and so we just hung out with Buddy. He had a croissant and some scrambled eggs. That's like the best day ever when you're 1. It's pretty good when you're 31. It's funny having a second kid, because your life changes dramatically when you have your first child. You go from having no kids to having a kid, and it's a massive shift, no matter how prepared you are. When you have your second, you're already prepared for that, and you've already had this huge shift. So it's very different in the sense that your life doesn't have the dramatic shift, the dramatic change, but it obviously there's no less that emotion and the love that you feel is absolutely no less than the first time round. And if anything, the first time around you're so overwhelmed by everything that's going on, and all the worries and concerns you have as a new parent, you don't have those the second time around, so you get to just chill and enjoy those moments that you're so kind of anxious about the first time that they're gone before you know it. So I can't believe a year has gone by. I remember it so clearly the first time I held him. It was amazing, and he's awesome. 1 is a really cool age. They're just starting to become cheeky little monsters. I mean, your house ends up looking like this. Actually, to be fair, this is all my stuff. Anyway, Carrie, I hope you're well. I will see you. See you soon? Don't even know. Don't know when I'll see you. See you soon. You've been you. I've been this person. Bye. Same time next week, folks.